This is Vince Marino Plumbing LLC in Pittsburgh. I'm going to show you today a low draft on an atmospheric boiler that I just serviced, and the proper way that we do for NCI protocol. This is not for any homeowner or HVAC technician that is not certified to do this test. And I'm going to show briefly numbers on an analyzer and the potentiality of what can happen. Okay, this is a house that has an older slant fin boiler. Now, I've been running this for over 12 minutes. And as you can see, we have an oxygen level at 3.6, which is very low. It's not the gas regulator. And then we have a draft gauge. It's below 2. It's a 0.1.5. So we had a sensor problem here, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this out. The temperature was changing because I had it on the boiler. So we're going to zero this out because the boiler is actually getting hot up here, okay? And I'll show you what's going on. I'm going to zero this out. Side. And I'll be right back in. Another good thing is don't leave your analyzer on the boiler. So we're going to zero my analyzer outside. So we're zeroing it again. Now, I've watched some videos and seen people, you get a low O2 number on their analyzer. Apparently they're not certified to do this. I've seen the guys, I'm not going to mention them, and they go and adjust the regulator. That's not the problem. The problem is there's either a high draft or a low draft and the air is being misdirected. And we're going to get back in and I'll show you. So we're going to attach this to the refrigerator because we got enough hose. So we're going to put this back in. And as you can see, the numbers will start to change. So we started off at 6. You see how the oxygen level is depleting? That's in result of the air is being misdirected. You need at least no more than less than 5.9 oxygen. If you go below 5, you're taking a chance of carboning up and raising CO levels. Okay, so this oxygen will deplete. When this first came on, the parts per million of carbon monoxide were up over 1,300. And instead of dropping right away, they were stabilizing between 6 to 200 to 300 parts, and then slowly worked their way down. Now, I'll get back to this. You can see there's a low draft here. It's below 2. You know, 1, it's not climbing. Now this test will alleviate not only rising CO, lowering oxygen levels, meaning the air going into the borer itself and the draft to it. So this oxygen will deplete more. It's 4-1 now. That's 4. Takes a while, but this low oxygen level is not a regulator or gas adjustment on this regulator. It is not a regulator problem of having too much gas and not enough oxygen. It is not, and I'll show it to you right away in a few minutes. So before you start turning gas valves, you better know what you're doing, and I advise you highly to contact NCI Institute, National Comfort Institute. They moved from Cleveland to Tennessee and get this certification, because you'll be astonished what you can learn and correct and how your sales will increase. I've seen people where they'll go around with this. People have called me. This is a handheld. What they're doing is they're going around the board to see if it's spilling. You know, you want to eliminate all that by properly checking it for a combustion test. So this is at 4-1. Okay, now the oxygen's lessened. This has been running for over 12 minutes. Now watch what I do here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna melt my thing. This is not for homeowners. Do not do this or try to block your draft hood off, and do not try to do anything that I'm showing. It's not for homeowners, maintenance people, even HVAC, unless you have the certification. So what we're doing here is you'll see that the oxygen levels are increasing to 5.8 to 6. And that oxygen will stabilize like around 6.6, 6.7 in the parts per million of carbon monoxide, which are lessened, will lessen more, down to about 3 or 2. Okay, so we're running oxygen about 6.5. That's good. Now this is not a regulator adjustment, so for you guys that are HVAC people and turning the regulator down, that's not the problem. It's the air. And as you can see, the draft is increasing up to 2. So in this case, what we have here is we have air that's being misdirected. Okay? By doing this, we're going to modify this with a MG1 barometric damper. If I get the job, I'll have a follow-up video. By doing this, we're forcing the air to go down from the bottom of the board instead of up the draft hood, the dilution air. So the oxygen's going down in here. Okay, so you're about 1 second, moving the towel. Some cases we only have to cover part of this. I dropped the towel, so it's going to increase it. So this is the proper oxygen. We're down to 3 parts. So I'm going to remove this towel and show you. So this is open to the room. The air is going somewhere else other than into this borer. It's probably going up the draft hood and not down at the bottom. So as you can see, the oxygen is lessening. This is variable. This lessens and increases. Every house is different and every job is different. This will actually go down lower, I've seen, to 2. And these part per million will increase. So due to the fact that this is a fluctuating air problem, combustion air problem, This needs to be modified with a MG1 Field Controls 5-inch barometric damper. As you see, the draft lessened, okay? We're down to 1.5. When this first started, it was down here. Now, I'll save this reading. We're going to shut this border off on the switch. And see if the this is what the government should be passing in legislation, is to have this done on all existing new heating equipment so we can control the emission into the chimneys. But meanwhile, they want to ban everything. They don't know what's going on. So this has come down to about 4 parts. What I'm going to do is we're going to turn this on startup with the draft covered. And with this draft covered, we're going to confirm that this border will start up properly. Okay? As you can see, I covered this. Now, you watch what happens. Can you see there? I don't have it all the way around, maybe. It didn't go up as high. Dropping down right away before it was taking its time. Okay, this is an older border. I didn't have it sealed all the way, but as you can see, it didn't get to 1,000 and dropped drastically, quickly. And the oxygen on the startup actually was better, saying 7.6. So the parts per million come down right away. We're going to redo this with a better feel on this. What I'm going to do is set this down on the ground because I got to hold it. Now, if any of you people think this is not necessary, you watch the numbers. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to seal this really good and start it, and you'll see that the oxygen will be good on a startup, and the parts per million will drop quickly. You don't want to have the fire department coming around to okay, so we're down to 13. The draft hood's covered. This is a protocol. You got to do all the testing according to NCI. I'm not going to show you that in the book. There's some other steps. So like I said, do not try to do this if you're a homeowner, and do not try to remove your draft hood and try to modify it yourself, because you can actually get yourself sick or take a long sleep that you're never going to wake up on. We're going to start this right now. Draft hood's covered, sealed positively. Okay. And carbon monoxide only went up to 8. As you can see, it's dropping down quickly, parts per million. The idea is to get the carbon monoxide to drop down quickly and to control the startup with the air. So the oxygen's up at 7. and that'll go down to 3. And we have a draft close to 2. It's a lot better than 1.5. So when this bore is cooled, without the damper, this will go up to 12, 13, 1400 parts per million. And that's the issue. As you can see, it's coming down quickly, very quickly. No oxygen is stabilized. This controls rising CO. I'm making a short video on my analyzer. I'm not recording your property.
Okay, that's
because I have a YouTube.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And there's people that don't know this. So the concept of the low draft testing procedure is to identify and cure rising CO and lowering oxygen levels. In this case, we had lowering oxygen levels and high CO in the startup. So that'll come down. In the meantime, I'll get back to you. This is Vince Marino, Plumbing LLC in Pittsburgh, and I'll have hopefully a follow-up on this. Okay, what I tested here was the startup.